Alright, so the next stage of videos we're going to do here, Ouija boards. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a game. But lots of people lose their mind over it. I've had lots of advice on how to buy them, make them, do them, conjure them. But it's an old school, divination method that we're going to go over a couple of them, like divining rods and all that as well. But I want to say, hey, so we're going to do a couple different tests. Obviously one would be like a live experiment, and we're going to have a couple static experiments because supposedly they can move when you're not looking. So for the record, just for test pattern, this is my bedroom. Okay, this is the walk-in closet, which is where it's going to be locked off. As you can see, I've got the trap camera set up right there, and I'm going to stage the Ouija board at a certain position, lock it off in there for like, we're going to start with a 6-hour, then we'll do a 12-hour. If that camera doesn't work so well, I'm actually going to use a different camera with a faster frame rate and one that doesn't have to be initiated to film. The trap camera sets any movement. It'll take a 15-second video clip and it'll take 3 pictures in succession. Okay, weather-wise, looking outside, it's clear sky. It's actually pretty nice. It's about 12 degrees centigrade here right now, which is amazing for November. A little warmer in the house. Not much else going on. I don't know how that's going to affect a Ouija board. So I'm going to put this down here. And I'll angle it down towards the board. Alright, so I'm going to start by turning on the camera. Okay, so that sound there is the trap cam going off. It'll probably take a couple pictures of me doing my thing. And then Spirit, I'm going to move the planchette to the no. As you can see, there is no, yes, the letters 1 through 0, and goodbye. I'm going to specifically move the planchette to no. It is centered pretty much right around the N of the no. So while I am not here, I'm going to put that directly center of the no, just so we can see it. What I'll do is I'm going to signal in front of the trap camera to get that to take a picture or two, just so we can see it. And for the camera, you can see the way I've placed it, center in the no. I'm going to close that door, so there'll be a door closed. I'm obviously not going to close it with me in here. And the light will go off. Okay, so for the first simple static test, we had the Ouija placed in a locked off closet with a trap camera for 12 hours. It was checked at, was placed at 5:30, checked at 7:30, was checked again around 10:30, and it's now 12:30 the following day, and we're in the exact same position. So I'll check the camera and see if, well, anything happened at all, but I doubt that. That's just a very initial static test. Alright, so part 2 of the Sentinel Ouija test here. We placed it here, and we've got some of the kitty balls that go off whenever they get moved. I put my wedding ring on the planchette. This was under suggestion from one of our team members about something with familiarity, maybe. And we've got the trap camera set up right there, and I'll leave it for probably approximately about 12 hours. For the record, I'm placing it on E, the centering of E of yes.
Pretty well for himself to walk on. Of all the rap.
Just checking here, it's still on the G where I moved it. No movement yet, of course. I mean, the idea is the planchette should be able to move regardless if somebody's hands are on it, because if it can move when somebody's touching it, it can move when they're not. Checking at bedtime, it's midnight. No movement as of yet. See what happens by morning. We've got our trap camera set above it. We've got the board right here. So I'm going to kind of like triplicate what could be added to this. And I certainly like to ask Spirit to please do something with this planchette to prove that there's something to it. Moving it around the board. We're going to center it on some innocuous letter. I'm going to put it on T. Okay. So on T. So I'm going to add some stimulus. You know, maybe this will be the last test I do before we actually do a live test with it. I'm going to add again my wedding ring. To add, I want to say that this house has had claims in it too. So if whoever's in this house was there, my wedding ring, who actually was worn by my brother-in-law before he passed, and when I got married, it was given to me. So there is, you know, double energy on it, I guess. And I'm going to place that at the very tip. I'm going to place that at the very tip so it can move that. We got the infamous kitty balls. You know, they move. You know, I'm going to put that over here on yes. And then this one, which is actually a little more sensitive, I'm going to place that right in the hole of the planchette. Okay, so maybe the planchette moves. Trap camera will see it. I'm not Catholic, but I do, for trigger objects, have a rosary. So I'm going to add a rosary to this and place that here. All right, well, we're checking in the morning, and it looks like there's absolutely no change. Nothing. Okay, so the last test I did to this failed miserably. I aimed the camera at the chimes, not at the board itself. Okay, so we have it set up now where the planchette is pointed directly at the G. I'm going to ask the planchette or spirit to please move this over a period of time. If spirit is nearby, I'm more than happy to make the chimes move, which you can see are in an enclosed case. For trigger object, I'm also going to add a rosary. I'm not exactly sure why the kitty ball's going off so much, but let it settle down. It's probably just my movement. Now I'm going to turn the trap camera, which I aimed very poorly, and put that now properly where it can catch the target it was meant for. Well, it's the fourth test of this kind, and I'm afraid nothing has changed. But I guess. Okay, so I think we've done 3 static tests already on the Ouija. I know often in Ouija we'd have multiple people around. I think with that being a problem though, because of so many fingers on the planchette. You're going to have, from what I believe, spontaneous finger stretching that might move things. You've got everybody's tertial muscles moving against and reacting and all that. So, I mean, it didn't do anything on its own during the static tests over many, many hours. I'm going to test this 2 ways with myself using the same methods. And I'm going to, do an audio recording, which I'm going to start right now. So I'm going to do an audio recording, and we'll see if we get anything out of that. So hopefully my tripod there doesn't break. That would suck. I'm going to have the tri-field running. All right, and we'll see if we get any excess. Right now it's basing off about 1.3, 1.6 is where it's cycling. I know the K2 gets affected by everything in the world, but we'll just have it on there just for its case. I'm just kind of thinking of all the different ways that it could be marred, right? I'm going to have to turn that up so I can see that. And we're now recording. There'd be ways, I guess, of faking this. You could tabletop I'm not going to try and table tip this table, it's too heavy. I'm not going through that kind of effort. You know, I know that, you know, the outstretched fingers, and the people are supposed to hold the planchette in a certain way that, you know, they're like lightly holding on to it, but, you know, just that outstretched finger could affect things. You know, I know that it would seem more broad to move it like this, but I can imagine that people move with their back or their shoulders in such a way. So, beats me. I can just do this, and then I'm going to do it blindfolded, and I'm just going to move it sporadically to where I want to, where I feel I need to. I'll move the camera down for that so that we can see that occurring, and maybe I spell out a letter, who knows. Anyway, so, you know, I'm not going to try and lean forward. I'm going to keep my fingers light on the planchette. I am by myself in the home. There's no electronics on except for the ones that are in front of me. There's a dryer running downstairs, and there's a cat. But the dog and everything's gone. For notation, the K2 is flittering up, but I imagine I probably was getting something from the modem. If it hits red, I'll make notification of that. So, I'm starting it off on the G, because my last name is Gibb. And hopefully if somebody is with me, and I ask Spirit to come to me, and please communicate through my fingers, and move my hands. Show on my devices that you're here. Or speak into the audio device that's in front of me. Ask the questions. Maybe you don't have the strength to move my hands, but you can ask the questions on audio, or answer them, which would be, I guess, equally as effective, really. I mean, so my name is Dave. Can you tell me what year it is? Can you tell me what health scare is going on right now? On this board, can you spell something for me? Can you spell your name? Or at least say your name into the microphone. I've been investigating a while. Things don't get me too freaked out. I can see that it's only on G right now. Do you know if that's my last name? It starts with a G? I'm going to put one hand on there. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it's just too much to put two of my arms in motion. Can you tell me what my wife's name is? Or can you point to the letter where her name begins? I've gotten an audio here before saying, "Hey, stupid." That was really interesting. I don't investigate here. Was that you that said that? There have been many people that have lived here before me. Did you live in this home? Doesn't look the same, I know that. Are you strong enough to move this? See, it's moving a little bit, but I think that's honestly just the maintained weight that I'm putting on it. you strong enough to move this? Okay, let's have a pointed question. My health has been kind of bad. Can you tell me if my health is going to get any better? Well, at the very least, it didn't slide right across to no. Yeah, the K2, which is the spawning green to orange. Again, I'm dead sure that's the Wi-Fi in the house. And Tri-Field's rolling from 9 milligauss to 1.2 milligauss. It's cycling. So by looking at both at the same time, the Tri-Field's running, 8 to 1 milligauss while the K2 is green. So when I see it go up to orange, I would suspect that the Tri-Field would range up to the 1.5 maybe. In which case I'd almost totally confirm that that is Wi-Fi, which is located about 3 meters from where I am. And I don't know the password to it, so I'm not going to start it up or shut it down. Can you tell me what year it is that you were here? What did you do for a living? Yeah, confirming the K2 is sparking up to an orange and Tri-Field went up to 1.6. So, whoop, now it just went way up to like 2.6. So, must have gotten a, I don't know how Wi-Fi works. I'm not doing much with this board. Maybe you're doing more with my audio. Maybe you're talking more to me right now. I'd be okay with that. Like this machine that's right in front of me. I invite you here if you want to talk. I mean, it's a very, very simple board. It's probably going to get trashed after this. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do a different experience. I'm going to put a blindfold on. And this is actually for a different test that we do. But, okay, so now I can't see. There it is. I think, actually, before I do that, what I should do is move I'll move the camera down. Directed at the board. Okay. So we're now hitting the 4.9 and it's steady. So maybe that's good. Maybe something, I'm obviously broadcasting a lot from Wi-Fi, or there's something strongly electrical going through. I'm assuming now. I'll move the camera away. As you can see, it's going up. That is interesting. Proof of nothing, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm blindfolded right now. And I'm just going to not wait for you to move my hands. I'm just going to sporadically move this to 10 spots. Okay, I'll count to 10 and I'll move it 10 ways. And we'll see what it says, okay? I actually don't really even know the order of everything on here. I think it's just the alphabet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just do a circle and a finish somewhere. Okay. So that was a free-handed test. Okay. Back to reality. All right, so we're now hitting about 8.7 milligauss, and I don't know what's particularly occurring. It's nothing that's really on right now, but it's going back down again a bit. It was interesting. We did have a bit of a strike for that, but I don't know what I turned on there, so I'll watch the video and find out. You know, I'm pretty skeptical of things like dowsing rods and Ouija boards and Ovilus and everything else. It's sort of made out of mystical thing. I grew up in spiritualist church, and this kind of stuff was around. It wasn't a staple of where I was, but it certainly was in smaller community activities. So I don't put much faith in it, to be fair with you, but we'll have to see what the results are, and yeah, I'll produce that and flip a little video together. So thank you for participating in my live experiment.